Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. The stock market seems to be back on its footing. One of the good things about this is that we never did escape the buy signal that we were under. And we'll go ahead and get it started off actually with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 rose, and as you can see, it's closing at 1795.85. That's just inches away from the old 1798 highs. So the S&P 500 is right on the cusp of hitting new highs. That means that our hedge in SPXS, which did not work immediately, it's closing below the low of the day of the signal date. I'm going to go ahead and sell off 75%, holding the rest of the 25% of the position for a close below 36.44. And the only reason for that is that just in case this is like a fake out before another down day. However, internally we saw so many breakouts today and so many big moves in stocks that I don't think that's going to happen. And then moving on to the NASDAQ, we can see the NASDAQ is closing at 39.69. 39.69 is, of course, 39.69, not new highs, but inches away from new highs. Therefore, the same thing for the SQQQ. 75% of this position will be taken off. The other 25% will be held for a breach below the 1670 lows. So a breach below there, and we're going to be completely out of SQQQ, which means the market will be hitting new highs. And in that respect, the Russell 2000, congratulations, new highs, 1119.62, and obviously with the Russell 2000 hitting new highs, the hedge in SRTY is going to come completely off 100% sell. And the good news is that was all the sells. It was all in the inverse long ETFs. So all of the longs that we still have did excellent. And on top of that, we have one new long position in 1 second I want to add to, and I'll go over the first new long first. MDSO, this is a stock that we were long once. My buy stops got triggered in September. Unfortunately, in October, MDSO decided to screw me, shake me out. Therefore, no more MDSO. However, we get another chance now with this pocket pivot point buy signal right off the 50-day moving average. Volumes above average. It's up 8% one day. It's a little risky. So if you don't want to put a 2%, or if you normally do 5% of my positions, you can trim it back to 2.5 or 1% or whatever. I'm still going to go 2%. I'll risk it as MDSO in a weekly. As you can see, if this can go from 16 to 117, who's not to say that it can't go from 117 to 1,000? And then have some splits. Remember, near the top, a lot of stocks do like 3 for 1, 2 for 1, 4 for 1 splits. We're really not seeing that. We're actually seeing stock buybacks still. Insiders are still selling, but we're seeing companies do stock buybacks. We're not seeing excessive splits, so it's hard to say that, it's that excessively bullish out there. Now, the other long is one that I'm a little upset on. Upset at myself for one reason. FLDM on the 14th was initially noted in my personal notebook before I make these videos and update the website as an ad. After carefully reviewing the fundamentals once again, I kind of was like, it's not that great. And so since BOP went the wrong way on the day, I gave too much emphasis on the move in BOP. Probably shouldn't have done that because the market obviously was hitting new highs, so everything was fine there. But nevertheless, I decided to pass on it, and obviously regretting it now, especially after today, getting a very clear another ad signal, second ad signal, with a pocket pivot point buy signal at the 10-day moving average with a breakout to new price highs. Base is kind of short, but it is a short flat stroke pattern, and the breakout is on higher volume, and BOP actually rises from the day before. So it's all good. Beautiful chart, a beautiful sales growth. Earnings aren't that great, but relative strength line is hitting new highs, confirming the strength in the stock. It's definitely an ad here. However, it should have been an ad back here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, we'd be sitting on another 6% gain. So my bad. It happens. What are you going to do? But FLDM is definitely a 2% ad. And going back then recently to UCBI. UCBI, like I said on this date, if you go and look at the new long positions, regular long update, this should have been a 5%er. Wasn't a 5%er because that day the stock market decided to sell off. Russell 2000 was down 0.53%. Kind of looked like the market wanted to pull back a little bit. But UCBI, wonderful breakout, lovely breakout. Once again, though, the fundamentals weren't that great. So with that in the market, it's like, okay, let's not do 5, let's do 2. As you can see, I shouldn't be listening to this overall market. I got to remember we are in the era of buy the fucking dip, BTFD with QE on full stream. Doubt that'll ever end anytime soon. Not sure why so many people think it's going to have to. They could probably do this another 20, 30, 40 years for all you know. How can you predict the future? That's pretty damn silly. Anyway, that's it. That's all we got. Have a great, wonderful weekend. I know I will. Surf will be back up. Awesome.